You always swore you'd never go on a fucking low-carb diet. I believe your exact words were, "Fuck that."
Well, as you guessed from the title of the video, I'm experimenting with low carb. Now, this morning, I weighed in at 213 pounds. This has been 12 weeks of dieting. I did my official weigh-in already, so this is not going to count till my next week. But I was impressed for one sole reason. Last night, I ate the most fucking carbs a human being could fucking eat, and almost probably a little over 3,000 calories. Now granted, I worked out, but I ate a lot. Fully expecting to be bloated today, to be just fucking huge and disgusting and feel like shit. I woke up this morning and I lost another pound. Another pound. Which meant that I was holding on to some fucking water weight or something, somewhere. Now, to me, it's, if you look, I'm not quite, it's kind of hard to see with this background, but I'm not quite as fat as I used to be. And I got a little bit, slightly more muscle tone, So, I'm not losing a shitload of muscles. This is about the same amount of muscle I've always had. The difference is you can see more of it. I did gain strength here and there. Lost strength last week, but I'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, it's getting there a little bit. Still got the boobs. Still got the fucking gut. So, yeah, it's there, but it's fucking smaller. So, right there, see? So, yeah, we're getting there. Getting there a little bit. Now that I'm done grossing you out, basically what I've been trying, first of all, I did a new fasting protocol. 2 times a week, 36-hour fast. And then the rest of the days, I would do some form of fasting, whether it be a 16-hour, an 18-hour, a 23-hour, 24-hour even sometimes. But basically, on each day that I would eat, I would go as long as humanly possible before I decided to stuff my fat fucking face. So, I started to think. Now, one of the problems I was running into is when I did eat, I would eat whatever the fuck I wanted to eat. 50% healthy, 50% unhealthy, if it fits your macros, was my diet. But as I've been researching online, as you know, I'm a big intermittent fasting guy. Intermittent fasting has caused me to consistently lose, 31.5 pounds now in 12 weeks. And that's with eating whatever the fuck I want to eat on my feed days. And on my fast days, fasting, drinking black coffee and water the whole fucking day. Usually I'd use the black coffee as kind of a meal substitute. When I get hungry during the day, around meal times, I would just get a big old fucking black coffee. As far as exercise, now, the biggest mistake I see with people doing weight loss right now is they think they have to spend fucking 3 hours a day in the gym. Cardio, unless you're trying to be a skinny, rail-looking motherfucker, don't do cardio. I made the mistake. I've been preaching it on here. Fasted cardio. Complete fucking waste of time. Complete. I've reached this verdict. Because there's weeks where I did fasted cardio, and then there's weeks where I didn't do fasted cardio, and the motherfucking weight loss was the same. So, what the hell am I doing all that cardio for? Yeah, make my endurance go up? More my fucking, I'm not a marathon runner. I'm not looking to set any PRs in time and distance. If anything, I was using cardio as a tool to fuck up on my feed days, you know, to go overboard calorie-wise. So I would go out and fucking pump out some cardio in the false logic of thinking that I could eat another 800-900 calories. And I'm learning now that while calories in versus calories out, which I've been preaching from the beginning, is a contributing factor to weight loss, the fact of the matter remains that it's not the only fucking thing. There are situations where you can go over your daily maintenance calories and still lose weight. And what I'm finding, based on both my fasting research and my current ketogenic research, is it's all about one motherfucking hormone, well, two technically, two hormones that govern whether or not you're taking fat off your fat and putting it elsewhere. And that is insulin, which is the fat storing hormone in this case. It does a lot of other shit, but it regulates your blood sugar and all of that. But insulin is there to regulate your blood sugar and to store carbohydrates in your fat when you overeat carbs. Plain and simple. The antithesis of insulin is human growth hormone. And as I've told you before, when you fast, your human growth hormone shoots up 2,000% as your insulin falls. So human growth hormone goes up here and insulin drops down here. And when that happens, you're in fat burning mode. Now, a lot of hardcore ketogenic motherfuckers think you have to be hardcore all the time. You cannot touch a carb. If you look at a carb, you're a dick. Well, that ain't the fucking case. It's not. Not the case at all. The fact of it is, our bodies are designed to hold 2,000 calories of carbs, not in your fat cells, in your muscles and in your liver. When you deplete that, your brain's going, what the fuck are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this to me? But the fact that it is you're designed to hold some carbs. So going ultra low carb 24/7 is not sustainable in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's motherfuckers on there, and they're better people than I am, that can go for fucking 6 years or 7 years on a fucking ultra low carb diet, but I'm sorry, that's not me. However, I have been experimenting with ketosis and ketogenics. Now, a lot of people in the keto camp think that the only way you're burning fat is if you are in ketosis. And I'm here to tell you that I haven't been in fucking ketosis my entire 31 pounds. Maybe touched it. I might have hit it here and there when I do a 36-hour fast. Because at the tail end of the 36-hour fast, you're pretty well depleted. Your glycogen stores are down. And I know this because the muscles get flatter. See, these are a little carved up right now. You know, and I'm not a bodybuilder, so make fun all you want. But I'm just saying, these will get more, there'll be more skin and flab and less muscle as you retain water when you carb up and when you're depleted, because your fucking muscles will get smaller just a little bit. They're not losing muscle, they're just getting temporarily smaller because they're not holding the 2/3 water, 1/3 sugar in your muscles. So yeah, I have touched ketosis. And I haven't bought keto strips. I plan on buying it now that I'm experimenting, just to see if I ever really hit deep ketosis or anywhere in there. But I posture to you, and my big experiment comes from a combination of Carb Night. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Carb Night, look it up, carbnight.com or carbbackloading.com. We'll give you a nice little introduction. But basically, I'm leaning on the Carb Night side, but I'm making it my own, okay? I'm not, he's saying, you know, any more than once a week and you're fucked. But I know from my experience with intermittent fasting that I can have more than one fucking carb night. I can lose weight and have as many fucking carb nights as I want. So that is where I'm deviating, you know. And then he has carb backloading, which says that you have to train in order to have your carb night that night. Now, what that means is you're on keto, less than 30 grams of carbs for the day until after you work out. That's carb backloading. Carb night is you're on keto all fucking week. Now, carb night is made for sedentary people who don't go to the gym and aren't strength training and all of that shit. That's made for motherfuckers that like to sit on their fat ass and lose their fat. And it might work, but the fact of it is I'm trying to also build muscle to replace the fat that I'm losing. So I'm kind of in this conundrum, because in order to build muscle, it seems you have to carb up. You have to feed your muscles. They have to have it. Now, there are a couple of diehard ketos out there who say that you can be in nonstop ketosis and build muscle. But I've seen maybe 2 of them motherfuckers saying that. And all the other muscle building communities saying you gotta have fucking carbs. So my solution in the past with intermittent fasting has been on exercise days to overeat a little, kind of a mini bulk, so to speak. And it's been working out. I've had strength gains. But I'm willing to self-experiment a little more. So what my new protocol is 36-hour fasts. And then when I break my fast, I'm keto. Which means I'm already in fat burning mode. I'm already releasing fatty acids because of the human growth hormone up here and the insulin down here. So I'm releasing the fatty acids, and my cells are using the fatty acids, and I'm also producing maybe a little cunt hair of ketones to supplement the glycogen stores, which are providing fuel for my brain. Now, like I said, I never reach full ketosis, which means my glycogen stores are never empty completely. They get down there, and you'll know when they do, because you'll feel foggy, you'll feel lethargic a little bit, you won't be as alert, and you'll also kind of feel, a little, I don't know, shitty. You'll feel like fucking shit. So I've never reached ketosis to the full extent, because when I start feeling like shit, I tend to try and do stuff about it. Now, I've gone whole days of low carb since I started testing this theory out, and I gotta tell you, it's not for me as far as being in ketosis all the time. So even with Carb Night, where he wants you to be in fucking ketosis, John Kiefer's the author, wants you to be in ketosis for as long as possible. Basically what he's saying is you spike your fat burning hormones. Now, he's not very specific as to what fat burning hormones I'm spiking necessarily. The book I'm reading isn't scientific. I know he supposedly gets more sciencey in fucking carb backloading, but he does, for now I'm kind of treating it like bro science, because he's not a nutritionist per se, he's a physicist, but he's a smart motherfucker that's been researching this, and he's proven himself to lose weight doing all of this shit. So who am I to question that? But like I said, with each of these fucking diets out there, you're watching this right now, you got to make it your own. You got to mold it to what works for you if you're going to be successful. And right now, I'd say I'm pretty fucking successful, 31 pounds in fucking 12 weeks. 31 fucking pounds. I never thought it was possible. I'm seeing weights now I haven't seen since I was in my 20s. So, am I losing a little muscle in the process? Yes, of course. But that's not the end of the fucking world, people. Eventually I can put it back. My goal right now is to cut down the fat so I can see what muscle I got. And I'm starting to see more of it than I used to. So, yeah, I'm not looking all that right now. I'm not even fully carbed up. I only had maybe, 200 grams of carbs yesterday cheating, because I'm having every 10 pounds I have a cheat weekend almost. But in the past I've been really conservative. This weekend I'm going all out. Well, I went all out last night. Basically for 36 hours I'm eating whatever the fuck I can. Now I'm still going to follow my timing, and my timing is this. I only want to spike my insulin once a day, preferably at night. That is my goal. And in theory, my bro science theory, that is come from all my fasting experience and coming from ketogenics. And my theory is, okay, you fast, right? You do 24, 36, 16, any kind of fasting protocol. So then your insulin's way down, your fucking growth hormone's way up, and you're releasing fatty acids into your bloodstream. So yes, that's where I want to be. And I want to be in that mode so that my body, in addition to depleting my glycogen stores, is also grabbing fatty acids and using them. And maybe, with the 36-hour fast, I get more ketosis going, so it's using them. And it's my understanding that when your body produces ketones, they're gone. You're either going to use them for energy, or you're going to piss them out, or they'll come out through your breath. But your body does not reincorporate the ketones. That's my, chimpanzee understanding of the subject. So yes, my goal is to get through my day, ultra low carb, my 70. Now, another big, we'll get into this in a minute. Another big thing is,
you're gonna fucking have a goddamn grabber because you're eating all of that fucking fat. Not true.
Not true. I've watched multiple documentaries. Now, what makes you have a grabber is when you have all of that fat with a whole lot of carbs. You spike your insulin, that fat is going to be stored. You cannot, it's the same thing, insulin up, growth hormone down, that fat is going right into your fat and into your arteries and anywhere else where it builds up. You reverse that, and you're burning that fat as you take it in. Your body will switch back and forth to releasing fatty acids from your fat and the fat that you're taking in. Now, not all fats are equal. If you want a list of fats, go and research this shit. I'm not here to instruct you. I'm here to tell you what it's doing for me and what I'm doing to get the weight loss I'm getting. So go out there and do your homework on which fats are good and bad and what you can eat if you want to try this. Don't take my advice for it. I'm just telling you what's working for me and how to maybe adapt these diets to fit you. So then around dinner time, my plan is, and I've only been doing this part of the plan for about 3 to 4 days, is I'll have some carbs at night. At night, the ultra low carb fucking phase of the portion ends. And what I try to do is increase the carbs but lower the fat for that end part of the day. So I'm spiking the shit out of my insulin. My insulin has a big boner, all right? A big boner. And my growth hormone's going to go way down. So, but I get to enjoy some carbs. Some of it will probably go into my fat. But guess what? My next day fasting, I'll be using that fat right to back up. I'll be in fat burning mode again, probably sometime in the night. And any fat that I put on from that extra carbs I'm having will get used. It's not all going there, however. Your body's going to be like, hey, you remember yesterday when you're all foggy because you did a 36-hour fast and you broke it with fucking ultra low carb? Well, guess what? I ain't got no fucking glycogen in my fucking liver. I ain't got no glycogen in my muscles. So I'm going to fucking grab that fat. Now, you're not going to get full on. It takes 3 to 5 days to get into full ketosis, to where your glycogen's gone and your brain is being forced. And it takes another 3 days for the fogginess to wear off, to where when your brain is being forced to use ketones as a fuel instead of glucose. So yeah, that works for a while, but a lot of people on keto diets end up plateauing at some point. So I'm finding that when you carb up, you break the plateau. So last night, since I carved up, I've lost an extra pound. Now, today, since I'm still cheating, I'm going to gain some of it back. But overall, 31 pounds. So that's the protocol. 36-hour fasts with pretty much, you watch your calories when you eat. You can go over when you're doing the fasting, 36 hours, somewhere in there. You can go batshit crazy on calories, especially when you're low carb in half the day, or 3/4 of the day actually. So, and I'm only doing it for 2 meals. I do break my fast with low carb, I snack a little with low carb, and then before I go to bed, an hour or two before bed, wham, carbs. So that's what I do. And I'm counting calories again just to make sure, kind of see what I'm taking in, to keep track of my grams, of carbs that I take in, and to do all of that. And this will be ongoing. So the next 3-4 weeks, I'm going to use these protocols that I'm kind of working with, and I might tweak them here and there depending on the results. But results speak for themselves. I mean, these jeans I'm wearing are 34s, and I can stick Al Bundy my shit, on 34s. I started at 38s, being almost tight. So, yep, lost inches here, but I still got a lot of fat. I'm not near my goal yet. I got about 30 to 40 more pounds to go. By pounds, I mean I'm trying to get to 10% body fat. So this, at some point, my weight loss is going to plateau, and then I'll have to be strictly working on measurements at that point, especially if I build some muscle. So try it out. Look up ketogenic diet. Look up intermittent fasting. I'm telling you. Oh, wait. Before I go, I was going to talk to you a little more about fat. Now, everybody says high fat is bad. And I've kind of gone over this a little bit, but I want to emphasize to you to do your homework on this, because your government is fucking lying to you. Yep. When you see all that shit labeled in the grocery stores by the marketing geniuses that say healthy, good heart on all of that carbon-fisted fucking shit, you are hurting yourself. Okay? Carbs have their place, but not all the time. Don't mix carbs and fat if you do this kind of diet. Try and keep your fat separate at least 2 to 3 hours before you decide to carb up. You need to lower your fat intake significantly. I mean, you could still take in a little, but I would say, your carb nights should be mostly carbs. So, and carb night preaches once a week. If you're intermittent fasting, I contend, and I intend to prove or disprove, that you can carb night more than once a week if you're fasting and you're working out. So now, I haven't read his carb backloading, so maybe he covers that ground. I don't know, but that's on my list of shit to read. But for now, I'm just gotta say, put the fucking fork down. Remember, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fucking asshole.